Basketball breaks, make sure you check it out.
Basketball breaks.
Basketball breaks.
Basketballbreaks.com. Keep it locked.
Let's go.
Ball ready.
Yeah, sure.
Ball ready.
No doubt. Well, let's go once again. Another episode of the B-Ball Breaks podcast. AC, aka the Architect, aka Ace, aka the Black Bob Honus. We also have on today's pod, Julian.
What's up, boys?
Jan.
What's up, guys?
And Gabriel.
What's going on, boys?
Okay. No further ado, let's get it started. What are we going to talk about today, Julian?
We want to talk Christmas games since those are coming up rapid. It's got some barn burners on that day. We want to talk, it's Kobe week, just had his jerseys retired, so let's pay some homage to the, I don't know, maybe second best two guard of all time. That's the best you can hope for. And then also, I just want to talk about some trades that might start happening because December 15th was the day when a load of guys whose contracts were signed in the summer, they can now be moved. So a lot of people sort of in the mix at the moment, people being talked about. And the team that is always apparently in trade rumors, the Boston Celtics, because they have all the assets and a general manager who's not afraid to pull the trigger. I just read something earlier that I want to talk about first. One of those like projected trade articles people like writing this time of year. This was it. The Boston Celtics received from the New Orleans Pelicans Ian Clark and Anthony Davis in exchange for Aaron Baines, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Morris, and Jason Tatum, a 2018 first-round pick, and the 2019 first-round pick via Memphis, which will probably be a pretty decent pick. Now, I've made my thoughts about Anthony Davis known on this podcast before. Would anyone else like to share their thoughts on this potential trade and why it's insane? Why would you do this if you're the Celtics? I know star power is amazing, but you have Kyrie Irving, who's playing out of his mind this year. Why? I wouldn't give up Jaylen Brown I wouldn't give up both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and both of those picks. I might give up one of the two wings, but I wouldn't give up both. Anthony Davis isn't worth 4 starters and 2 first-round picks, is he? He's not. The last team to do that sort of trade was New York for Melo, and where did they end up?
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that one for sure, because especially right now when you see Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown starting to play that good and starting 5, and they are crushing it, and like they have potential, and they are already showing their potential and bringing up their potential into numbers, or turning the potential into numbers. And I know your opinion about AD that I share to a certain degree, because he had potential when he came to the league, but till now he's putting up decent numbers, but I will never give him up. I will never trade him with that conditions.
Here's the thing about AD. He's a great talent. He's got all the skills. He's got all the physical tools. I've never seen him lead a winning team, be the reason that a team is an above 500 team in the NBA for a whole season. Part of that is maybe attitude. Maybe he just doesn't have the leadership qualities to do that. Maybe he's not the best player on a playoff caliber team. Maybe he has to be second best. Maybe that's where the Marcus Cousins comes in. I don't know. A lot of it has got to do with coaching. You can't take away from the fact that New Orleans is not an easy place for a coach to stay employed. And the last thing is health. He's never been healthy. That's the main reason I wouldn't do the trade. Anthony Davis has yet to prove every damn year. There's tweets about, Anthony Davis has got lower leg troubles. No shit, he does. He's 7 foot tall. This is going to happen. AC, you've got foot problems, and you're not 7 foot tall.
Exactly. I'm a miniature 6'3", and I've got tons of problems. It's crazy. About this though, yeah, it's a bit mad. They are giving up. Well, for a start, I don't think it's going to happen. I think this is more a case of
I think Danny Ainge is stupid enough. His New Orleans called him and said he's available.
I don't know. I think this is more.
I think Danny Ainge will make the mistake of thinking, hey, with him, Al Horford, and Kyrie Irving, and Gordon Hayward, if he's healthy, we could beat Cleveland right now. When you don't need to do that, you can wait until next year. Let your young guys get even better while they still cost nothing.
No, I hear that. But I just think it's more a case of testing the market, because it is known that, generally speaking, GMs put out these type of feelers all the time. Now, yeah, this is in the public eye at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that GMs get little offers, quote unquote, made to them at least once a week. Just like, oh, by the way, we've got X, Y, and Z.
Like a late night drunk text. Just,
yeah, like,
hey,
would there be any
you want
interest?
AD for 2030 first round pick?
I think it's just testing the waters, and then if they kind of bite, it's like putting out your bait, right? And if they bite, then you say, oh, okay, there may be something in this. So there is obviously interest. There's been interest in AD for a minute now from the Celtics. But that particular deal that's on the table, I don't think, it's ludicrous. I don't think they would actually give all of that up. I think that's the beginnings or the pre-beginnings of negotiations. I think it's a bit of that. I think they're trying to play around a bit by putting this out there, personally. I just don't believe they're going to give up, the house for a Porsche.
I think, yeah, Porsche, they can't stay healthy. I mean, here's the thing. I wouldn't get rid of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in this age of small ball, and they fit so perfectly as it goes right now. I might give up one of them. If it came to it, I might give up Al Horford and say, okay, well, going forward, I'm going to have one of the two. I'm going to have Jaylen or Jason, Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, and Anthony Davis. That'd be cool. I'll do that. I wouldn't give up both the first-round picks. And then you do whatever you need to do to make the salaries work. But I wouldn't give up both of those wing players. They're both too talented. They're too good.
That's what I'm saying, and it's your future. What do you think, Gabriel?
Yeah, what are you buying Anthony Davis
I
for?
think the thing is, guys, you're talking about winning now. Would you rather win now in about 2 years' time, 3 years top, or would you rather wait and hope that these two guys are going to develop in something special? That's the big question. And remember, you're talking about Danny Ainge. He's known as one of the best GMs in basketball I think in the last 25 plus years. So it's not that crazy as you might think, to be honest. The real question is not if he's going to work. The real question is Anthony Davis willing to do that? Because he has a no trade clause, remember that. And he wants to stay at New Orleans. But now he's actually thinking about it like, what if he doesn't want me anymore? Obviously, DeMarcus is playing as DeMarcus should be playing. So now they start thinking about maybe our main guy is DeMarcus, it's not anymore Anthony. So that's the question when it comes up. Does he really want to stay at this stage, like with these small rumors, or he wants to go? And if he wants to go, there's nothing else they can do besides asking, because he's one of the best players in the game. So they can ask whatever they want to be honest.
Interesting. I didn't know he had a no trade clause.
So for anything to happen, he is going to have to announce that he wants to move.
Well, no, they would organise something, then they'd call him and say, look, we have this on the table. Can we trade you?
Yeah, same difference. Same difference.
He would have to allow it.
It's his say.
It's his say. I think, I don't think he wants to stay in New Orleans. I don't think he really cares. It's not like his hometown is Chicago. He played in Kentucky. He's been in New Orleans for all of his career, but it's not like they've had a load of success, and it's not like they're a clear situation. I mean, they used to be owned by the bloody league. So I think he'd move if he wanted to. I don't think DeMarcus Cousins is their long-term answer. I think it still makes sense for them to trade him. He's phenomenal, but again, and here's my point about AD, and we said about would Danny Ainge make a move to try and win now? I think they're pretty damn phenomenal without AD at the moment, and you have to let these playoffs happen to see and the summer to see where LeBron goes. If he goes west, then it's a clear run to the east.
He's gonna stay east.
You think so? Okay. Well,
there's no way he's gonna go west. Anyway, Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
but that's a topic for the off season when we're down the playoffs. But when LeBron doesn't answer hypotheticals, so like we won't play around with those, right? But like I mean, to your point about winning out, I don't think AD can win. Like, I've seen nothing in his career that says that he is the reason a team will win important games. Like,
yeah, okay. See.
also, he's going to go to a team with Kyrie Irving, so
Yeah.
Kyrie's going to
That's how we're gonna win.
Yeah.
You understand? Where do you come from? College. Where do you come from? What
Kentucky.
program did you come out of?
Kentucky.
Okay.
Oh, Kentucky.
Okay. I'm not saying anything more. Kentucky.
They know how to win games. Whatever. Did they win? Wait, did they win the?
He comes from a
tournament?
winning program. Yes.
But yes, at college, but then he sucked. Every team he's been on has sucked in the NBA.
Every team. Which every team? What?
Every year, every squad he's had is terrible.
Yes, exactly. Listen to the words you're saying. Every squad he's had is terrible. So that can't be an indictment on him. Come
Why
on now.
not?
That's cool.
Great players
No.
are meant to be able to lift players.
That's
Like,
crazy.
at the very least, he alone should be able to make their team a defensive stalwart, and he can't.
I think
Yeah.
I think what Julian problem is like
Bad mental health. That's my major problem.
no, I think like the potential of AD is so big, and the hopes of New Orleans were so big, and he's not really fitting in to it like 100%, right? So he's playing good. He puts up good numbers and everything, but he on his own he can't do it. He is no Kobe when we want to go into Kobe as well. But I think AD needs right now he's playing with DeMarcus Cousins, right? And they are winning more games. But I think AD, like, it's more or less like I'm losing the hope as well that he is the player everybody thinks he is.
And this is the thing. I just want to quickly throw in there about AD as well. You don't actually want to say something, Gabriel. I'll come to you in a sec. The thing with AD, I think at this point he needs a move. He really needs a move for some of those reasons you were just saying there, Jan. We need to see him in a half-decent environment, and we need to not see his talent. You can't deny he's a talented ball player. We need to see that somewhere else to get a true gauge on his level, and also so that his talent doesn't go to waste. He doesn't just languish in New Orleans and then just become some kind of footnote. Let's see him in a good environment. Whether or not that's Boston is another argument, but I think we need to see that. That's what I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, I wanted to just bring this up as like I saw that article earlier, and I would never have made that trade. I didn't expect for it to spin out like this, but yeah, I'm glad it has.
I'm just gonna ask you one thing, guys. Though, who was the last big man to win a title without help?
Tim Duncan.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Yeah.
There you go.
Me and Gabs are synchronized to that one. Excuse me.
Oh, no.
So yeah, who was the last big man?
Could it ain't Tim Duncan? So let's keep it rolling. So yeah, I like the question, Gabs. I'll wait.
No answer. That's the thing.
And on that bombshell.
Every big man, even since the beginning of the basketball, everybody was thinking that you need a big man to win. At the beginning, they were playing ball down, big man, just gonna be some post moves, then either kick it out or finish himself. Then the basketball moved to a more guarded, like Michael Jordan. Let's say even Charles Barkley was more a perimeter guy. So afterwards, he started to shift from a center-only basketball games to mid-range, isn't it? And nowadays we're seeing threes, small ball, and everything. But there's always one thing which is in common. they all have a big man and somebody who can shoot from outside. So, in all these years, what I'm trying to say, Anthony Davis never had somebody which was reliable on the outside, on the backcourt. He never had no one who was reliable in order for him to win. So, he's never won anything, true, but he never had nobody who could help him win. And somebody was a leader during the game and even in the locker room. So if he teams up with Kyrie, then that's a title sooner or later.
All right.
That's it.
Here's the retort. If Anthony Davis is so great, why didn't people want to come play with him?
Because of the
Because
city.
he's in
Come
New
on,
Orleans.
small market.
Playing for the Pelicans.
The markets don't matter.
It does matter. The only reason why San Antonio is so appealing is because of the actual organization itself. Otherwise, nobody would like to go in San Antonio because it's a small market town. There's no money for them besides basketball. There's not much money. New Orleans is even worse. It's one of the best cities. They all love to go there during All-Star games and during breaks, but they do not want to play over there because there's nothing else to do besides play basketball and get for that only. We're talking about people who love to play basketball, but people also, all of them are small enterprises. All of them are making money besides that.
Almost every team is a small market team except for...
No way.
No, except for like a small minority of teams in the big US metropolises where you can take advantage of those sort of extra basketball opportunities. I mean, what you think? LA's the two LA teams, the two New York teams, and Chicago, and Boston's not a big market. Miami's not a big market.
Okay, but would you like to play in Miami?
Yeah, for Pat.
There you go.
I'd play for Pat Riley, but
not only Pat Riley, but Miami.
Yes,
Florida.
both. Yeah, both.
Yeah, I love
That's the
Florida. I
thing.
could buy property and then it'll be worthless in 30 years. And flood
This
it.
is the thing,
There
yeah.
you go.
Because this, that's what I'm saying. This is the thing, because this part of the discussion could spiral out. But what I'm saying is this: it's the market, but it's the organization itself,
True.
the management through like you said there, Julian. Yeah, you play for Pat Riley, and then you have, speaking of Miami, then you have Miami itself. The place is desirable. And so then when you add in a good player, then it's like, well, yeah, why not? When you weigh up all the factors in any decision anyone makes in life, you weigh up the factors, whether it's the job you're going to take or not take, or if you're going to go to uni, or if you're going to move house, or whatever it is, you weigh up a few factors. And quite frankly, in New Orleans, what is there?
Tell you what, there still is. There's still hurricane damage because no one takes care of that damn city.
Yeah.
True.
Still, quite ridiculous. Someone in America should really get on that. I'm sure someone's looking after it, but like, someone should bloody well take care of it instead of building a wall on a certain border.
No,
But
that's
yeah.
real. That's real talk. I agree.
Yeah,
But before we get...
hashtag big markets.
No doubt.
Why don't we move on to the
Let's move
biggest
on.
market, man?
Another big market, which is not as big as, like, it's not as a big market, but people love, is San Francisco, Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
People love to go there because of the city.
Yeah,
It's a
and-
smaller market.
And also, if you hear about the Golden State Warriors guys, again, they're all like decent dudes who are quite easy to market by themselves. Like Steph Curry would be able to sell himself wherever he was, just because he's that sort of dude. But also, you can read loads of articles online about Steph Curry, Iguodala especially, Sean Livingston, KD doing it as well, where they've all got like friends in the tech industry who are telling them where to invest and to like fund this and that. So they're like, Iguodala has made tens of millions on these side investments. And
Wow.
there's like
exactly, but that goes back to my point about factors. You got Silicon Valley and whatnot, so it is what it is. 1 point, Gabs, because you haven't been on before, I just want to say, be a little bit mindful of your microphone brushing against your clothes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because sometimes
you want me to see me in shirtless, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not necessary.
take it off.
But yeah, sometimes it makes a little scratchy tap.
Congratulations to all the people watching the video.
Yeah, they got early Christmas present. Yeah. But yeah, let's move on to the next subject. Speaking of Christmas, let's just go there right now. So, the Christmas games. What games are you most looking forward to, and what games are you not really bothered about?
Timberwolves. Because we have like the first time in years a Christmas game, so I'm looking forward to see my team on Christmas.
Oh, you support Timberwolves?
Yeah, sure.
Nice. So you're not so hyped now, innit?
I'm quite satisfied with the season.
Well, but now it's hype is the beginning.
Yeah.
I seem to remember pre-season, someone was saying, "Oh, Timberwolves, they'll be like 4th in the West." They're going to be 20 games better this season. It's like, no, well, they're 18-13. They've got a winning record, which is also historic. This team. But
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's what Jan is doing. That's what Jan is doing.
Well done.
That's what Jan is doing. It's about setting, the
Achievable goals.
Yeah.
One at a time.
I tell you, I'm satisfied with the season right now.
When
you come from when you come from the bottom, when you come from the bottom, like the Wolves, like you are happy for that, for sure.
Yeah,
that team's 18-13. They're good. They're fun. Anthony Davis can't play defense for some reason. Don't know what it is. I have no idea.
Who?
He could be Anthony. Oh, sorry. I mean,
Carl Anthony Towns.
Carl Anthony Towns. Yeah. Who had all the same hype around him as AD. And last couple of years ago, we all thought, yeah, it'd be great. And last year, down the last stretch, like after the All-Star break, he was averaging insane numbers, like 29 and 14 and 5 assists. And everyone thought, oh yeah, he'll carry that into this year. It hasn't happened.
But like a lot of changes as well, like at the team, right? So
yeah,
but
it got to the point
sure.
where Jimmy Butler was averaging 11 points a game, and then he said, "We suck," and then and since then he's been averaging like 20.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we're winning games. And it's like, well, there you go. It turns out it is a guard-driven league, and that Jimmy Butler is the best player on the team. For
sure, like 100%, he is the best player on the team. 100%.
You know who's not the best player on the team? Jamal Crawford.
That's true. He's not the best.
It is actually true, but let's not do that again. Them cheap wins.
Let's go to the other games.
I'll leave that one alone. That'll be a fun game. Them against the Lakers, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler matched up with Kyle Kuzma.
Come on.
Someone's got to stop that man. Someone's got to stop him.
So yeah,
the Lakers lost in overtime to who recently? Was it Philly?
No, was it yesterday?
A couple of nights ago, Kyle Kuzma was going insane. Like the confidence in that kid is beautiful to watch. So much better than let's not mention his name, his fellow rookie. But
come on, man.
Nah, man. No, we have a pact. We try to not mention that particular rookie as too much, so we're not just parroting what's happening on with Stephen A. Smith.
Let me quickly. I want to keep us on the topic of these Christmas games. So, I'm going to try and pull that in, but I do have to quickly breaking that rule just to address. We said and we tried the LeBron challenge, right? We said this about 2 weeks ago, that we are not going to mention one LeBron James. At least we started off saying until 2018, and that seemed like it was too much of a challenge. So we said, okay, up until Christmas. Let me tell you this.
We have to talk the Cavs Warriors game.
Oh, no. Let me say this right now. That's been completely broken. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Could not last 1 week, right? Without mentioning LeBron 3 times. Basically, the first time he mentioned it, and it's like, oh shit. And then after that, it was like, okay, well, I'm gonna be fined, so I might as well just get it in anyway. Went to town. So yeah, the LeBron challenge has been broken.
I like that. I'm not going to get fined. I might as well get my money's worth.
Yeah, exactly. So, speaking of that, do you want to go to that game or talk about another game? Who else is playing?
Steph Curry is not playing, by the way.
He's not playing. So, like that game, which could be a finals match, a finals matchup is. I don't know if Tristan Thompson, is he back fully healthy? Does he really matter? Depending on what you think about Tristan Thompson. We don't even know if the Cavs are done making moves. They've still got assets. They could still make a move before the off season. Sorry, not before the postseason, before the deadline. I mean, I really don't expect that Brooklyn pick could just stay the Brooklyn pick, but there's been too many rumors swirling. I think LeBron would rather have a player than, especially now that he doesn't have. Well, obviously, IT will be back soon, but will IT be back for Christmas? Because then I'd be excited. Okay, fine.
No.
Okay, well, I'm not really that excited about this game. Part of it is that I'm so bored watching the Cavs, and I've got to the point now where the Warriors are so damn good at basketball that they're also a little bit boring to watch. And I'm more excited to watch Philly, New York, to see all the Turkish flags flying in the arena.
That's funny.
But also, I like watching Kristaps play. Hopefully, he'll be in full force.
Hopefully, we're gonna see a matchup between Kristaps and Joel Embiid. But Embiid, so far, I don't think he's gonna be playing.
I think they said that he's aiming for Christmas, but
he's aiming.
And no matter what happens, Ben Simmons will be on the court. So I'll enjoy watching that.
Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year. So rookie of the year in inverted commas. Because he's sure as shit not a rookie. But yeah, as the rules allow it, well done to him. He's going to win it. But
what about Celtics Wizards, like Kyrie, John Wall?
I see John is still working his way back a little bit. And apart from him missing games recently, John Wall never starts the season well. He never comes into camp really in shape. He always looks a little fat. So, come postseason, he'll be ready. But, I mean, that is a potential playoff matchup, so that'll be fun. But there's a reason the Celtics are 26-7 and the Wizards are 17-14. So, I think that will probably be a rout. It's also in Boston, so should really be a rout for the Celtics.
No, it's in Washington, actually.
Is it?
Boston at Wizards.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've got Washington at Boston according to League Pass. Either way, I expect the Celtics.
Whatever. Either way.
Well, and the other game is Rockets Thunder, and the Thunder are a 500 team at the moment. Do you think, Jan AC? Do you think we're going to have to recast our votes for Executive of the Year? Because when we did our pre-season awards, we thought, executive, can we all just agree it's Sam Presti? And so, moving on. Wow, we look. Everyone's looking a little bit dumb.
Yeah, I just called and see he deleted all that footage. No.
Well, this is the thing.
You're going to have to blur the entire bit of podcast there,
Yeah, I hear you. No, but you know what? This is the thing, though. If I was Sam Presti, I'd be like, listen, my part of the job has been done.
Yeah, for sure.
I gave you the fucking pieces,
just stuck. It's crazy. But Billy Donovan, fire me, sure. But I think it is Boston at Wizards, not to nitpick. But anyway, all that aside, I'm interested in this game for entertainment factor only. Thunder and Rockets. I just think it could make for an interesting spectacle with everything surrounding the Thunder. Because what we do know is, as much as it's been a shambles, when the very few occasions when they have clicked, it's been really explosive, which is what we know. It's just that those pieces are just a weird fit. So there's not many times that you can kind of, twist the Rubik's Cube and it comes out correct. I've done it. And those pieces are lining up. But when they have lined up very briefly, it could be explosive. And obviously, I want to see CP3 in action alongside Harden and stuff. So that could be a good game to watch. I'm certainly looking forward to that more than I'm looking forward to the Knicks game. Because if there's no KP, there's nothing. There's no KP and there's no Joel Embiid. I like Ben Simmons a lot, but I don't want to see that, to be fair.
Well, there's Michael Beasley, which is playing really good lately.
Michael Beasley, who had a very good game.
Games.
No, let's get this right. Michael Beasley has had a phenomenal career. and someday the Miami Heat should retire his jersey.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Beasley.
God, they wasted that pick. Wade goes down for a year and you burn it on Michael Beasley, the guy with all the drug problems. Oh, Christ. Okay, that's Pat Riley's one bad move.
Yeah, but yeah, you know.
Everyone's allowed one.
Yeah. But a couple of the things could be all
Presti has used his.
Yeah, no doubt.
On Presti, real quick. He can redeem himself by trading Paul George. There's already trade packages being developed for Paul George. Like, someone will pull the trigger on it. If he gets his agent to back channel to whatever team he actually is going to sign with in the summer, and says, trade for me now, so I can get a bigger deal in the summer, he'll do it. And that team is probably the Lakers. So, mate, why wouldn't Paul George try and make it happen? So he's not a snake? Like, he can blame all on his agent. Man, this OKC team isn't going to do anything, I don't think. It doesn't work. And to your point, AC, about like on a couple of occasions where it clicks, it's not whole games, it's like quarters. Yeah. So it's like it's 6 minutes at a time where it's like, you look great, or why had to be when I'm watching them play, I think that was a good set, and like I'm surprised now when it's like, well done, you've made a good decision there, Russell Westbrook. This thing that the most entertaining game of theirs was against Philly, the one that went to triple OT. Partly and that's the one where Russell went 10 for 33 and like 14 for 24 from the line. That game if he just made a free throw during the regulation, that game wouldn't have been overtime. It's the thing. I'm just getting super stressed with Russ now because he can't play defense. He doesn't want to. He shouldn't have to. He should be able to expend some energy on it because he's got Paul George running point instead of actually. Paul George used to be one of the best pick and roll players in the league, and now he's like coming off picks, looking for Carmelo. Carmelo is taking he's taking those like respect end of quarter shots. He's like, yeah, come on, Melo, this is what you're here for. And he's doing the worst shot in basketball, where both feet are on the 3-point line, where he's trying to like shake at the big man he switched onto. I was like, the guy ain't moving because you aren't getting around him, and he's just bricking every single long two he takes. And it's got to the point now where Oklahoma is not only like, it's bad for my health watching those games. It's not. I can't.
Then don't do it.
No.
We need you on the podcast here, right?
Yeah. So it's like that team is just so. There's teams that are like boring to watch because they're so good, like the Warriors, the Cavs, and the Rockets, and you know what they're all trying to do. OKC, I've got no idea what they're trying to do, and I don't think they have a clue either.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, because if they had a clue, they would play better, right?
They just play bad basketball.
Yeah. And that's their problem. That exactly is their problem. They don't know what they want to do. That's precisely which is why the pieces they have and are not clicking, and seemingly cannot click for more than max 10% of the time, because they have. Yeah, he's back.
Sorry, mate.
They have no real identity, or they don't know what they're heading for, and that's why it's a problem. At least if you know what you're heading for, but you're not quite there. Like, for example, the Lakers, and we're going to talk about them a bit in a minute anyway when we get into this Kobe thing. The Lakers, for the last couple of years, or more or less, let's say since Magic got there, they decided what they want to do. Now, are they doing it? Can they do it right now? That's one thing. The answer is no. But they're trying, and you can see over the last couple seasons, you can see these little moments and sparks where it's like, oh, yeah, I can see them kind of trying to do what, where they're trying to be in terms of how they play. With Oklahoma, they haven't got a clue, so you just don't know what they're doing. Like, what is the identity of that team? Houston, you know what they're trying to do, and you see it working. With them, I don't even know what's going on with the Thunder, and that's their problem. It's not that we don't know, it's that they don't know. So then it just becomes a case of super ISO. It just becomes super ISO the whole game. So it's mad.
I've got no idea. Like, what if you were Sam Presti, if you were Billy Donovan, what do you try to turn this team into? What type of ball do you try to play? Do you want to be a defense first team? Do you want to be a run and gun team? Do you want to shoot threes? Is someone going to tell Russell Westbrook to stop taking those 15-foot pull-ups? Like, they're good, but they're not. He's never been super with them. He's not like a killer in the mid-range like Kobe, or even DeMar DeRozan last year. Like, those are bad shots. And he also takes a lot of them in transition when there's no rebounding. And when you know very well that he could get to the rim, but even then, he's never actually been that good at finishing through contact. Like, he does a lot of these twists and shakes in the air, and he's looking for the foul. And I don't know what it is. He just isn't that awesome at finishing because he doesn't have the delicate touch of someone like a Kyrie or even a Steph or a Chris Paul. And these are the guys he's meant to be on par with. Now, he's a freight train. Like, he's got all the power of a LeBron James. But is that enough to power an offense by itself? Like, I mean, a good offense. Obviously, he did it last year. But, I mean, you look up and down this roster, do you think the only two people who you want to really hold on to are Russell, because he's young, and you have him signed, and Steven Adams? And then sort of figure out what you want to be in the middle? Because you'd think that, I mean, you have to score points to win an NBA game. So do you want to be a score first team? And I'd like to play make-believe GM, but I've got no idea where to start with this team. Maybe draft picks.
Yeah.
Everyone likes draft picks.
For sure, like, they have to map out a good future or a future plan, right? Because right now, like, it's depending out of this season what they're gonna do after the season, right? But I don't know what they're gonna do. As Aaron said, they have no clue themselves. So, but
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. But yeah, just so we don't super spiral off into OKC territory. Gabs, now that you're back on the call, is there anything else you want to say about the Christmas games, what you look forward to, what you like, what you don't like, etc.?
Well, the only thing they're actually looking forward is OKC Rockets, because basically they are two really good defensive teams. So, are the OKC going to stop the power the Rockets have in offense?
No.
I think they might will, to be honest, because Russ has lots of energy. PG is a defensive first player, to be honest. And Carmelo, he can still do a few things over there. He can't defend properly, but can still do a few things. And then if everything clicks, it's going to be a hell of a game. But there's a big if.
We were just talking about that.
The whole thing about
Exactly. The if is like the biggest if. It's the massive.
Is Steven
if.
Adams healthy? Because is Steven Adams going to be in that game? Because he hasn't been of late. There's been a guy who I've not recognized playing, like number 44 for the Thunder. To your point, yeah, Russell has all the tools to really man up against someone like Chris Paul and even James Harden, and maybe that will psych him up. But he's an awful off-ball defender. He's absolutely terrible. So I think someone like Chris Paul could rip that team apart without too much trouble. And I don't think very many teams at all can stop the Rockets. I mean, they're 14-0, 15-0 since Chris Paul came back.
Yeah, 15-0.
So I'm not convinced that anyone can stop them. It's perfect D'Antoni offense with all the right pieces. And he's figuring out how to stagger the minutes. And Clint Capella is top 10 in MVP MVP trackers at the moment. Like, he's number 7 or something. Like putting up 20 games. Like, where's this coming from? And like to your point, Gabe, like they are a phenomenal defensive team in their own right, and I think they have got all the tools to stop the Thunder, who are not a good offensive team. They don't play good team offense. So, I mean, we talked about this in the before the season started about, the Rockets are a wonderful offensive team. So they've still got James Harden, but like their starting lineup of Chris Paul, James Harden, Trevor Ariza, PJ Tucker, and Clint Capella, that's 4 out of 5 of them are above average defenders, like maybe like really above average, like 75th percentile and better. And then even James Harden is a big, strong two guard, and when he gets invested, can really body someone up. But yeah, I think that game is pretty much going to the Rockets if I haven't made that point clear. Yeah.
Okay,
let's leave OKC alone.
Yeah, let's leave them alone. So let's talk about Mr. Bryant, Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba, Kobe Bean.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go for it because you have the Kobe Bryant jersey on, right?
Well, yeah. I do.
Oh crap! Let me get mine.
It's Kobe week, right? It's Kobe week, so we're rocking that 24. You know.
Okay, two seconds. Talk yourselves.
It's so funny. Julian's actually got to get his Kobe jersey. Oh, that's crazy. You are aware that people aren't really gonna see it. We're gonna have to make a video podcast out of this now, right? There we go. But yeah, with the 8 and the 24, what did you want to talk about, Jan?
I was just like, no.
Okay, wait.
This is what the man is meant to the game.
Okay. All right, let's do it then. All right, look.
Oh man.
Got the 24. I'm rocking the 24 Kobe.
I play great in this jersey.
Oh yeah, you should wear it all the time. But Julian, number 8. We've got Gabs in the number 8 as well. Kobe just had both of those numbers retired. What are you saying on quickly? Because I mean, a lot of people have gone into this, but let's just get your take anyway on the 8 version of Kobe versus the 24 version of Kobe.
I think Jeannie Buss put it really well, and I don't know if it was in Kobe's speech, but like the reason we're retiring both numbers, she said, is because you did it in both numbers. Like if you separated the careers of number 8 and number 24, both individually did enough to make the Hall of Fame. Like that, he was that phenomenal.
He was doing the halftime speech.
That was it, yeah. But yeah, for me, although I got the number 8 jersey because I saw this in a rack somewhere and I thought, I have it. Like I really got into the league around 2008-9. So Kobe was already in 24. That's the Kobe I knew when he grew out of his insane scorer mentality. Always had that. Oh, he's always a gunner, but they really grew into a leader and had all that success, not by himself, obviously, but as very obviously the best player on his team. And there was him and Powell and Lamar and Phil Jackson, and they went and got those 2 rings over the Celtics and over Orlando. I mean, those were like a couple of first championship teams that I followed really closely, and there's no denying that. Like number 8, I don't think Kobe number 8 was ever the Black Mamba. I think that was something that came later when he knew how to pick his spots and became just impossibly efficient and just ferociously like competitive. But yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence either that there's like number 8 is Adidas Kobe and number 24 is Nike Kobe. Adidas obviously made the right choice at the time for them to drop him after a certain lawsuit for morality reasons, but I'm pretty sure Nike was quite happy to pick him up because he's done some phenomenal work with Nike, with his sneakers, with all the ad stuff around it. And I mean, it's just phenomenal. But yeah, for me, 24 rings true over number 8.
Yeah. As far as these shoes, I've never liked them. They look like
tennis shoes
to me. They're like a walking ankle spring. Yeah, tennis shoes and all that. But I would agree, especially after what I like about the second incarnation of Kobe as 24 is, all of those points you mentioned about his mentality and expanding his outlook on the game and just the ruthlessness. Because he came back after all of his controversy that he had to come, but that's the type of thing that can break somebody.
That can ruin a career.
That can ruin a career. And at that moment, his career could have went just completely just downhill left. It's happened to many a great people before. They've had some kind of controversy of that level. But with him, he just locked in. Like, it's crazy. Like, he just came back even more ferocious, like you said. And I think just from that standpoint of how strong his mind is, how strong-willed he is, and how he's able to focus in and lock in, that's just really impressive to me with all of the skills that go with it. So yeah, 24. What are you saying, Jan?
Yeah, no, I will go with the 24 as well, and as many reasons that you already said, because he's just with the 24, it was like just Black Mamba. I can't really add something to that, but you all guys have the jersey on, and I obviously have the book here on, adding some Kobe thing to at least the life of Kobe Bryant. But yeah, I'm going with 24 as well, because like there you saw like I think in my opinion the best version, because then it was like compared, obviously not that athletic as the young Kobe, but athletic and wise and a leader, the best player in my opinion, the best version.
Yeah, and I did like watching number 8. Number 8 was fire.
Yeah,
so,
man, like it's insane. It like Russell Westbrook type of stuff, like insane energy and everything. But like 24 was more not like my style to play. Like I'm not good and everything, but more like more thinking than energy, you know.
No, I know what you're saying. Now, I wanted to leave Gab last on purpose to give his thoughts on Kobe Bryant, because I know you've got a lot to say.
I'm a big Kobe fan, man.
I know you're the super Kobe fan. So yeah, what you got to say about Kobe?
What I'm gonna say, first of all, let's start with the thing, Black Mamba. It's funny how people call him Black Mamba, and he actually reincarnated himself like a snake does. So that's the first point. He is a mamba itself. Like, he is a snake. He's not a human, first of all. Then if you ask me to decide between the number 8 number 24, not decide, because both of them, they were great. Both of them put 10,000 points, 10,000 plus points. Both of them got rings. Both of them were leaders in 2 different aspects of the game. The first one was more of a leader like Russell is, with energy, with plays, with Duncan and everything. The other one was more a vocal leader and a silent leader on the last 4 seconds of the game. So I cannot choose between one of them. But yes, well, I think I'm gonna use 2 words to describe Kobe. Afro Kobe, so number 8, explosive. Number 24, relentless. We are talking about a guy who played half of his career with injury. Like, he was injured during half of his career, and he still wanted to be the best of the best. We're talking about somebody which, after he won a title, he went to work out in summertime with Hakeem Olajuwon to perfect his post moves. Like, how many guys can do that after they won a title? He did it. He was working with Olajuwon. He was always working with Tim Grover in to cure these aspects of mining and mindset and everything. So I'm gonna lie, I cried the other day twice. Like, I cried in the last 60-point game, and I cried in jersey retirements. It's just my man, you know. Every time, even one of you, every time you guys shoot paper into whatever, he always shouts Kobe. So that's it. There's nothing else.
That's the most important legacy he's left on the game. The bin swish is.
The only thing I might say is, even though I'm a biggest Kobe fan, 2 jerseys, I don't think that's right to do that. It is like, both of them should be retired, that's true. But I would rather see one rafter with 2 jerseys in it than 2 different rafters. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. Besides that, love you, Cubs. Kobe being Bryant, I love you, mate. That's what I can say.
Yeah, quite a career. But it's the thing, I think for like our generation of basketball fans, Kobe probably had the same effect on our mentality and our approach to the game and our passion for the game as Michael did for the generation that came before. And he has that sort of mythology around that. Sunday we were talking about Kobe in the way that like people 10, 20 years older than us talk about MJ, just like people, even maybe LeBron is in that conversation now as well, where his career dovetails when LeBron was starting to get really good and really starting to put it together, but before he started winning anything was just after Kobe stopped winning everything. There was a perfect handing off of the torch in that respect of very obviously like the world's favorite player went from Kobe to LeBron around that 2010 time, 2010, 2011, 2012. And now we started to see it happen with someone like Steph Curry, even though LeBron is the best player on the planet. And I don't have the time to just say LeBron, but I'm really glad that Jan broke the LeBron challenge rules last week. But I mean, that's the sort of legacy that Kobe leaves now, where he is one of those truly legendary players where you think like, I'll have on my all legends team with Magic Johnson and Kareem and Bill Russell. He's one of those caliber players. Like, speaking of basketball books, I mean, I've got one from Bill Simmons called The Book of Basketball, which suggests pulling down the Hall of Fame and rebuilding it. So instead of just everyone in there on the same level, there's like different hierarchies of like, there's the bottom 50 and then there's the next guys and they're sort of ordered, except for like the top 12 is like the pantheon. Kobe should be in there. Like Kobe is one of those truly all-time greats that you'd want on your like if aliens came to Earth and you need to pick a team of 15 guys to go against the aliens, you'd pick Kobe for your team. And yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool to have the Hall of Fame actually more like that rather than just sort of an exhibition space. Like a little bit more like that, but that'll never happen. But Kobe is one of those sorts of caliber players, and he is the second best shooting guard of all time after Michael. They are, I mean, people are already making the comparisons between LeBron and MJ, but LeBron's unlike anyone that's ever been before, whereas Kobe very obviously and has admitted to modeling so much of himself after Michael that, I mean, the fact that he's one ring short on Michael, you know, that's a shame. But Kobe does have more points overall, right? Does have a lot of things, and obviously had his 20 years all in one place, where MJ dossed around in Major League Baseball and with the Wizards. So, in a way, maybe in a few years' time, 10 years' time, we'll look back on Kobe's career in the same way that we look at Michael's and obscure some of the stuff that isn't quite so admirable. And I don't mean like off the court stuff. I mean, like no one talks about how MJ, when he came back after baseball, they got killed in the off season by the Orlando Magic. Like everyone just forgets that one season because that would destroy our hierarchy of, oh yeah, he won 3 titles, then he went away for 2, and then he won 3 more. No, they sucked for a season. But that's the sort of level that Kobe is on. And the impossible effect that he's having in the game, like you're saying, Gabe, that like everyone says, even if you're not a big basketball fan, you're throwing something into a bin at work, it's Kobe. So, and everyone knows to do it in that voice. And there's never been, I mean, if you need someone to shoot over a triple team, you know who to call.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that brings up a point that I wanted to ask you guys about as well. But Kobe, yeah, triple team, quadruple team, 5 players. I know there's this funny pic of him, this meme that came out ages ago of him literally taking on 5 guys. It's just a joke. Because Kobe would do it. And
is that the one like underneath that the tag was? I think it's like a still of him, like 5 guys all trying to block him. Yeah, and he's in the air, leading him. The tagline is "When your girl comes to the gym."
Exactly. It's true. But with Kobe, talking about that same point, he in many ways is the last of a particular time period, loss of a dying breed, a certain mentality. And we can get into exactly what that means. But one small aspect of that I want to ask you guys about is what we generally call hero ball, which is like what we were just talking about there. And this whole thing around being that guy, and people always bring up MJ and then, oh yeah, Kobe had it, and the killer mentality and taking the last shot and all of this stuff. And we now see it at play with the Thunder, whereas they have ISO guys, and we've seen it at play. We saw it with KD and Ross. We're now seeing at the Thunder, they've got ISO guys. How do you mesh them together? We've seen that Golden State are very much going against that sort of ISO play. Cleveland have been employing it, but in a more mixed way over the last couple of years. Obviously, they had Kyrie, but you can see now Kyrie at Celtics is not going that way. Most teams are moving away from that type of way of playing. And obviously, we know we used to have Iverson, etc., etc. Kobe was a part of that era. Do you think with him now retired from the game, we've seen the last of that hero ball type of approach in the NBA, at least for a while? Do you think this is a new era now with obviously LeBron, his mentality, how he plays, and the younger guys that come up behind him, like your Ben Simmons, your Lonzo, etc., who seem to be seeing the game in a different type of way? What do you think?
I think that's one of the reasons why Kobe is special, because to do that, you need to be somebody who actually is really special. So we saw Michael doing that for 20 years, well, 14 years playing, and then we saw Kobe doing it for 20. The next person that I think might be like them, I think is Devin Booker. He has the same mentality. He's gonna eat you first, and then gonna score on you. That's the only player right now that has the same type of mentality and game when it comes to clutch shots.
I agree with Devin Booker. Like, Devin Booker is the only player I see in the league that is a bit like Kobe. Like, he has the potential to, because like last season he had such a game. He has potential to be like Kobe, or like, it's all, like when I say it, like nobody's like Kobe, obviously, because you said he's special, and nobody's like Mike, nobody will be like the LeBron, but Devin Booker has the same type of play, and I really like seeing Devin Booker play. But I think that we really are going into another era again, where it will be way more rare that one player is doing it all on his own, as Kobe did. But yeah, Julian, what are you thinking?
See, I'm not sure it's that simple. I think players like Kobe will always exist. No, obviously, I mean, guys with that mentality exist in the game all the time. Some teams are just terrible, and one guy has to do everything. And hell,
like right now.
Yeah. And hero ball. Does hero ball mean like there's always going to be guys who decide to spin to the baseline and shoot over the double team instead of kick out? Like those guys exist. Like Carmelo, when Carmelo goes, is that the end of hero ball and like ball stoppers? But there's a load of guys with high usage rates. Like Russell Westbrook is that kind of guy. To the point where Russell Westbrook plays off-ball hero ball, and it's really annoying. He does this thing where he passes, and if he knows the play means the ball's not going to get back to him, he stands five steps behind the three-point line, in everyone's way. He doesn't make a cut. He doesn't make a screen. I think that it's a part of the reason that it will go away is that offenses are more sophisticated. As we learn more about the game and we have more data and coaches learn more, then yeah, this stuff will slowly dissolve away. But there are players who will always be hero ballish and teams that will always require it. I mean, Kyrie had it when he was with the Cavs before LeBron arrived, and that was partly just because his team sucked. Dion Waiters had that mentality as well, which was undeserved. Even though I am now a property-only resident on Dion Island, so him being a Heat guy. So in spite of this hat and this jersey, I am a Heat fan. But there are loads of guys like that. I think Bradley Beal has that sort of mentality. He's not quite ready to defer to John Wall entirely, and it's always been a part of their sort of brusque relationship. I mean, other guys with really insanely high usage rates, like Kristaps Porzingis. Is what he does hero ball? Is hero ball always a pejorative? Is that always a negative? Like, or do fans pay to see the big name take the big shot? So, I mean, part of this is a function of old offenses where, like, in the 90s, there was a lot of isolation offense, and maybe it is dying out with the likes of Kobe retiring, Melo very obviously reaching the end of his career, Joe Johnson retiring, ISO Joe. I mean, part of it depends on our exact definition of hero ball, but I think it will exist in individual players by dint of their personality and on teams, given that some teams will always suck, which will require someone like Devin Booker, who we mentioned, to jack a lot of shots and score 70 points, which doesn't mean a lot when you still lose the game and are a sieve on defense. So, I mean, that's my quick take, having not really done a deep dive into the history of it, but yeah, I think it will always exist. I don't think you can get away from it. And as well, like in the past, where we've talked about why basketball is such a phenomenal sport, part of it is the almost perfect team sport where everyone has to be able to do a little bit of everything. Otherwise, you are a detriment to your team, and we won't be able to stay on the floor long term. And as much as I love like the pass first stuff and all that, like the teamwork stuff, it's also a wonderful sport, given the up and down nature of it and all the opportunities to score and have the ball in your hands. It's one of the very best sports for one-on-one play. So I don't think you can ever get away from hero ball. You'll always have a defender up against you. So I think this will always exist in one way or another. And maybe there are fewer guys like Kobe. He's a special player. Like, we'll never see someone like him again. People said that about Michael, and Kobe came close, and D-Wade came close to that when he was in his prime. But there's always the fact is someone's going to have to take a shot at the end of the game. So hero ball will always exist in one way or another. Is my sort of half cop-out answer.
Yeah, there was a lot of fence furniture going on there.
Fence furniture, yeah.
Yeah. But for the most part, I actually like your response to that question. I think the main question really is, will quote-unquote hero ball, like you said, it depends on your definition, but generally speaking, people see hero ball as, okay, it's the last minutes of a game, give me the ball, I'm taking over. I'm doing what I'm going to do. For the most part, people boil it down to that, but generally speaking, people see it as, like you said, people with high usage rates, usually volume shooters, who are just, listen, I'm going to get mine, and then we're going to see what's going on. And like you said, that can be taken as a positive or a negative. So I think the main question is, how will that type of individualized play be looked upon? I think that's the question in the next, say, 10 years, because in the 90s, we revered it a lot. So now I think that it's being looked at in a slightly more negative sense. And that's what I just find interesting to see what you guys think about that. Because like you said, you're always going to need that. Personally, I mean, if you're just out here on some madness, if you're on some, I don't even know, Lance Stevenson type stuff, or then I'm like, well, boy, what are you doing? But if you have the ability to make your own shot, that is an incredibly important skill, and everybody doesn't have it. And there are times when at any level of basketball, but obviously we're talking about the highest level now, because say in the NBA, in the playoffs, once all your schemes break down, now you just need something to happen. And that is almost like an intangible almost where that's not something that can really be even coached. Yeah, you can coach moves, but just the ability to do that is just how you are. And I think the teams that will probably fare best will be teams like Boston, who seem to actually have a system and a guy who can do that. So when your system breaks down, then it's here you go, Kyrie. And we know he is possibly the best one-on-one player that we have right now.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to your point about like hero ball being when a guy says, "Give me the ball," like I'm gonna go make this happen. Like you're trying to, like, coach, you're trying to call the play. No, players, give me the ball, get out of the way. Like, well, LeBron's been doing that for the several weeks since they went on the win streak, right? That's his whole shtick. Like, and to your point about like someone like Kyrie, who's the best player on their team, other players who are like that. I mean, could you say that about James Harden when he has Chris Paul? Who would you rather have with the ball in their hands? The last play, probably James Harden. The last couple of minutes, probably Chris Paul. But you've got KD and Steph who can both do that in Golden State. If you're a coach, it's almost the best thing you can do is say, you're our best player and no one will ever criticize me for saying, give him the ball. And aside from like avoiding criticism, it's also just makes sense. It's like, he's our best player, give him the ball, and we all trust him to earn his money and make something happen, make something out of nothing. So, yeah, I mean, it will always exist. Like, team, you can't pass the ball into the net. So, you know, someone's always going to be one to take the last shot. And that's why, although there are always like NBA top 10 team plays at the end of the year, the top 10 plays of the year is almost always big time buzzer beaters, ankle breakers, big dunks. And even lastly, the shots you remember are like KD just saying, giving his fuck you 3 on the Cavs. It's like, that's a hearable shot where he's like, nope, this is mine. There. And then he's pointing to the sidelines like, there, give it to me now. So I don't think it's going away. And
we like that, right? That's the entertainment of the game.
Yeah. So we may not revere it like we did in the 90s, and offenses are more sophisticated and won't allow for it to happen throughout the entire game, but I think we continue to celebrate it. And it will still be the reason that we go outside after games and go, I need to try that. Like, I need to do my dribble up from the opposite free throw line to the 3-point line, stutter step 3. Like, that will always exist. But yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful thing as well, you know. It's good offense to a point when it's decent players. I just don't want to see Dion Waiters and Lance Born-Ready Stevenson doing it.
That's it, right?
That's what I'm you saying, Caps?
I agree with you guys with everything you said. The only thing I might gonna add to it is like Kobe did it to win, not just because he wanted to.
Yeah. Okay, he definitely wanted to pass to Smush Parker. If Smush Parker was open on the 3-point line for the final shot of a game, Kobe would never make that pass.
Yeah,
that's because it's Smush Parker.
Yeah, who he?
It's like the 81 point game. He made 81 points. In Kwame Brown, he made 1 point. So he did it to win. He couldn't pass it to Kwame Brown, so he had to do it.
Who's that?
You remember the 81 point game? Yeah.
Kwame Brown.
Oh, wasn't that Michael Jordan's first draft pick?
It actually was. It was the same person who played with Michael Jordan, actually.
We think that coach/GMs, like that combined role was dumb. Michael was a player GM.
Well,
oh my
like
God.
Player GM.
The only time the player anything has ever worked was player coach, when there was Bill Russell. That's because he's the best player of all time.
I hear that. And I hear what you're saying about winning as well, because I know. I mean, it's about when you look to your left and your right, do you believe that Smush Parker is going to do anything useful with the ball at this moment in time?
Also, does anyone in the audience want to see him take that shot?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm not going to Staples to watch Smush Parker.
No doubt. It's crazy.
But at the same time, Kobe was passing the ball to Paul Gasol, to Big Shot Rob, to Shaq, to
this
even
is the thing. this is the thing, and in some senses, it's what I like about basketball. Depending on the environment you're in, it can be a bit harsh, but I like the reality of basketball. And the reality is, once you're on the court, you know who is or who can hit that shot. And it's just certain guys just like, like you said, it comes down to, I want to win. So I'm not going to do that because I know who is going to actually do something useful with the ball and who's going to do something crazy or who's going to freeze in a moment. And if you want to win, then that's the bottom line. It's just what it is. That's why Kobe is the assassin and the Black Mamba, because, you know, it's not really time for feelings out here. It's time for winning. I can't never fault that because I know I've done stuff like that myself. So I'm not going to say
that.
Shut up, Gabs.
Yeah, Asa, you shooting over the double team every time.
Not every time. but it depends, right? It's like people get on LeBron about kicking to Kyle Korver in the corner for a corner three. That's a great shot. Like, why would you not do that? That's Kyle Korver in the corner, open for a free. You know, that's a lot different to just some also-ran who doesn't hit that shot. I mean, if you take the shot, like you pass it off and the guy takes the shot and he misses, they're like, oh, cool. We live and die with it, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But, you know, sometimes you just got to take matters into your own hands. So that's just how it goes.
And maybe just talking about LeBron real quick and his propensity for doing this. And I don't know, maybe I'm not remembering it correctly, but I seem to recall against the Spurs in the finals when he was with the Heat, because we never talk about 2007 stat finals. But I seem to remember LeBron taking a long three, it bricking, bouncing back to him taking another one, going in. But the Ray Allen three, the three that means that Ray Allen should have a permanent seat on the court side next to Pat Riley. Did that one come off action? Like, who took the shot that Chris Bosh rebounded that turned into the Ray Allen three?
It was James who took the shot.
Okay, because in that case, if Allen had been open, would LeBron have? Was it right in that case for LeBron to take that shot and hope for a bounce, or?
No, and this is my point. This is the thing. As much as a lot of the time it does come down to, okay, I've got the ball in my hands, I'm looking around, one, who's open, two, who actually has the ability to make that shot and making your decision. If Ray Allen's open in the corner, it doesn't really matter. See, people separate, and we do this all the time, depending on if a shot goes in or not. They're like, oh, it's a good shot. Oh, it wasn't a good shot. But a good shot is a good shot. Ray Allen open at the three-point line is always a good play. It's Ray Allen.
Still is.
That's all.
It still is. The man's retired. It's still a great shot.
You understand? That's what I'm saying. I don't
Ray
care.
Allen doesn't have to be retired. Ray Allen can run up and down and still run around screens. Ray Allen could do the Kyle Korver role right now.
This is what I'm saying. That's always a good play. So a good play is a good play. The result doesn't really matter that much. Like, just to quickly interject this, because I was talking the other day about a play that Lonzo had, as we brought him into this. Yeah, your man. Gabs is man, Lonzo. He had a play where this was maybe a week or two ago now. But basically, he dribbled, like he must have taken on his guy, dribbled down the baseline. He could have gone up for a layup.
It was against Philly. Joel Embiid was coming to stop him, to block him.
Yeah, and he jumped up, he kind of jumped up in the air, spun round, and like flashed past it right into, was it Ingram, right?
Yes, Brandon Ingram, yeah.
Yeah, it was Brandon Ingram, and then he hit the three. And everyone was like, yeah! And I was like, yeah, because it was a great pass, and two, Ingram was open. But I don't know, man. Like, to me, I would not be championing that pass per se. I thought he needed to be more aggressive and just take it to the rack. And I don't care.
No, the thing is, I think he doesn't.
He saw Joel Embiid.
Yeah, he doesn't still know how to. He should have stopped and pull up before Joel Embiid was able to block him because Joel Embiid was destroying him.
Indeed. Yeah.
So that mid-range shot, everybody, there's a lot of people is missing it right now. So he doesn't have that. If it was LeBron, he couldn't make it.
Lonzo
And
can't take
he's
pull
not
up.
confident.
Lonzo can't take pull up jump shots.
He cannot.
He can't do it going right.
He can't do even. Can't do it. So no.
Talking about like Lonzo's decision making, for the most part, he's good. He makes some of the normal rookie mistakes. But this thing about Lonzo and like taking more responsibility and being more aggressive, I don't know what game it was. Maybe it was against Golden State. Maybe it was a game they lost. Close. It might have been against Philly. No, they won that. Whichever game it was the last shot. If he made it, they would go up by 1 or it would go to OT or something. And he broke down the court. He was faster than I've ever seen him go, which like well done to him for still being in that sort of like condition. Do you know the one? Like he went in for a layup and he got like the air was taken out of it on a block. And then buzzer, done, game over. Like is that really the best shot he could have had then? Would you have not rather given it to Kuzma or to Ingram? Because Ingram is a killer right now. And or even Julius Randle or someone else that's not Brook Lopez. But
so basically you're saying anybody else.
Yeah,
you just started going through the whole thing like, yeah, Brandon Ingram, Kuzma.
I mean, that's the thing.
Randle.
That was a bad decision. And
What a boy.
where his brain went, I can win this game. And just like the ball was not circular after it got blocked. And so that was a terrible decision. And I hope his coach said, I like the aggressiveness. Really bad time to take that point on board, though. Yeah, that's all. I mean, on the Lakers, like them. Yeah. What about you, Jan? Do you think the T-Wolves are going to beat the Lakers on Christmas Day? Let's finish on that.
Man, if they don't beat the Lakers on Christmas Day, I will cry, man. If they don't beat them, man.
Listen, Lakers sometimes they play really good, yeah.
Yeah, but man, if
it might just be their night.
It could be. Obviously, the Lakers can beat any team if it's their night. But
yeah, statistically, the Lakers are 1 in every 3 games is their game.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think as long as Jimmy Butler is on the floor, the Timberwolves win. If he's not on the floor, then it's an open game for me, because then could be the Lakers could win. But when Jimmy Butler is on the floor, we will win.
I think that's fair. Like, without Jimmy Butler, they're still basically the Timberwolves of last year and the year before. So, whereas the Lakers seem to get better every week. And I mean, I'd be excited if I was a Lakers fan. They're fun to watch. They're one of my league pass teams. Like, there you go.
You excited, Gabs? You excited?
I am big time, because I agree with Magic. We need Showtime Lakers. We don't care if they win or they lose. We need them. We need to see games like the one against Golden State, against the Warriors, against Philly. We need it for the league. That's it. Easy as that.
It's great for the league. It's great for basketball around the world, and also for you, Gabe. It must be really nice to be able to say, yeah, the Lakers are Los Angeles teams again instead of the Clippers. Right, no more Lob City. This is Showtime again.
True.
As for the Clippers, well, yeah, less said about that, the better. That will be a whole other podcast. So let's just leave that right there. On that note, I think we should wrap this up. Looking forward to at least some of those Christmas games I will be watching without a shadow of a doubt. So I'll probably be hitting up you guys if you're watching as well on the WhatsApp. We're like, why is he doing that? What the hell? Oh, man. Did you see that? All of that jazz. And getting it in. I've been going gym hardcore this week because I know that I'm going to be stuffing my face on a madness. So sitting at my computer watching these games for the whole day. So, yeah. So on that note, once again, another great podcast. B-Ball Breaks podcast. Just want to say thanks to all our listeners. All the links will be down there, whether it's iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube, where you're catching this. You'll see all the links down the bottom of where to join us on Facebook, Instagram, and basketballbreaks.com. On that note, lads, one more time. From me, adios, hasta luego.
Adios, que vaya bien.
Adios. And to everyone who's having trouble picking Christmas presents, just think to yourself, what would Kobe do?
Take care, guys.
Peace. Merry Christmas.
Laters.
Basketballbreaks.com. Keep it locked.
For people who who love basketball breaks to discuss and to engage like-minded basketball international people.